Hello everyone and welcome to Stream and Tech Now. On today's video, we've got 5 top revenge movies that you should watch right now. I can't tell you how hard it was to try to narrow it down, so what we decided to do was to have a part 1 and a part 2. So this is going to be part 1, and then we'll eventually have a part 2 with some additional top revenge movies. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay them out one after another. They're not in any specific order, but these are 5 revenge movies that you should watch right now. Okay, so first up, and I will say that this movie took us by surprise. It was made in 2009. It has Sarah Paxton, Monica Potter, and Tony Goldwyn as some of the main stars in here. But this is such an intense film. It's about a gang that kidnaps 2 teenage girls, and I won't say what happens to them, but it's unbelievable. The gang flees the scene, and then it just starts to thunderstorm very bad. And then the gang finds refuge at a nearby vacation home in which a family is vacationing. Unbeknownst to the gang, it happens to be one of the victims' homes. The parents start to get worried when their daughter never makes it home. They then start to become very suspicious about the people that they are letting stay. They devise a series of revenge tactics, and all I can say is it's a must watch. It's called The House on the Left. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so next up is The Punisher. Now, this is from the Marvel series, but if you're not into Marvel, that's okay, because this doesn't have that feel at all. The movie I'm referencing is the 2004 movie with John Travolta and Thomas Jane. They have several, and they also have a TV series, but if I'm being honest, I never really got into any of those. This movie, though, is so different. It's so good, and you guys, the opening scene will basically leave you breathless and will hook you in. So Frank Castle, who's played by Thomas Jane, he's an undercover FBI agent who has the most unfortunate thing happen to him. Now, I'm not going to give it away, but like I said, I promise you, you will be on the very edge of your seat when you see what happens. He then unleashes his wrath upon everyone involved, especially the ringleader, played by none other than John Travolta. So if you haven't yet seen this, please do yourselves a favor and watch it right now. The Count of Monte Cristo. So this is the third one. It's probably in my top 10 movies of all time. Now, I know some of you probably either seen this one, read the book, or perhaps an alternate version. Now, the one I'm showcasing here is the 2002 movie with Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce. Now, this movie is a classic story of an innocent man wrongly but deliberately imprisoned, and his brilliant strategy to seek revenge against those who betrayed him. What it's about, Jim Caviezel is just an honest, young, hardworking man whose peaceful life and plans to marry his beautiful fiancée named Mercedes gets stopped in the tracks when his best friend Ferdinand, which is played by Guy Pearce, wants Mercedes for himself and completely changes his life forever. What happens and unravels in this story is, simply put, amazing. This is a must watch. It's one of those movies that whenever it comes on, we end up watching it over and over. Definitely check this one out, The Count of Monte Cristo. So the fourth one is The Brave One, and this has the incredible Jodie Foster in it, and I will tell you right now that the beginning of this will leave you absolutely speechless. You're going to definitely want to see what happens here, but basically this is about a New York radio host, which is played by Jodie Foster, and she endures an unthinkable tragedy, which I won't ruin for you and tell you, but this tragedy haunts her, and she sets forth on a personal quest for revenge. Now, her actions and what she does captivates the entire city. But a sharp detective, which is played by Terrence Howard, starts to close in on her and on her hunt, so she becomes even more secretive in what she does. This is an absolute must-watch, guys. It's called The Brave One. All right, so we've made it to number 5. Now, it was so hard to only choose 5, but again, we will be having a part 2. But last up is Law Abiding Citizen with Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. Now, this movie is about an honorable family man, which is played by Gerard Butler. And one day he gets a knock at the door that changes his life forever. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happens when he opens the door, but all I can say is get ready. He tries to take the legitimate route in hopes for justice to prevail, but when a rising prosecutor named Nick Rice, which is actually played by Jamie Foxx, cuts a deal with one of the killers in exchange for testimony on another case, everything goes awry. The movie then fast forwards some years later, and the revenge is, I will just say, set into motion and is simply awesome. If you haven't seen this, you must watch this movie. So there you have it. There is part 1 of some of the top revenge movies you should watch now. If you haven't checked out some of our other top list videos, check out the description. I've got links for those for you to check those out as well. So go watch these and let us know in the comments what you think. Thanks so much for joining us today, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, share this video with your friends. I'll see you next time on Stream and Tech Now.